I'm Kayla, and I'm the registered dietitian at WellStar Health Place. And today I want to talk to you about something that's really fun, being lazy. But not necessarily being lazy in your own life, but being a lazy chef is what I like to call it. I think a lot of people don't cook because they think that cooking is hard and it takes a lot of time and it's really expensive and you have to go to the grocery store like 3 times a day. But it really does not have to be that difficult if you just make it simple, okay? So I want to start by just talking about simple preparation methods, right? There's nothing wrong with using a crock pot. That's okay. That makes things easy. There's nothing wrong with using a microwave. That makes things easy. You can microwave a sweet potato. It takes like 6 minutes. Just give it a few stabs, put it in for like 6 minutes, and that's much easier than putting it into the oven. Okay, so use simple cooking methods. I think putting things in the oven is really simple. You know, do your like 1-pan meal and just put everything in the oven. To sit there over the stove for a while just feels like it takes a lot of time. You can also keep your meals really simple, okay? When you're looking at trying to make a meal or find a new recipe, think about really simple ingredients. You know, you can look up 5 ingredient meals. If it starts to get really complicated and list ingredients that you don't know of, don't even go there. And it's okay to eat oatmeal. There's nothing wrong with that, right? As long as you put some protein in it, maybe put some fruit in it, try to make it more of a complete meal. There's nothing wrong with eating oatmeal. And heck, you could eat it for dinner if you wanted to. That's fine. There's plenty of times I eat scrambled eggs and spinach with some wheat toast for dinner, and that's okay. It's still a complete healthy meal. So you don't have to just eat breakfast foods for breakfast, and your meals do not have to be exquisite, okay? Something else I want to talk about is that meals don't have to make sense. I think a lot of times we're like, oh, the chicken and the rice and the broccoli, they have to go together in this way. But sometimes it can be sort of weird, right? Like you could have a pack of tuna and some Triscuits and some carrots and celery. There's actually nothing wrong with that, and it actually is a well-balanced meal. If you go to the My Plate video, what do we have? We have veggies, lean protein, and healthy carb, which is kind of how you follow My Plate. So even if you eat, hey, maybe you eat some yogurt and some zucchini or something, and then maybe you eat some brown rice. I don't care. Whatever it is, just as long as you're following My Plate, meals do not have to make sense. They do not have to be pretty, right? It's just to keep you out of fast food and keep you eating healthier, okay? And keep in mind too, frozen foods are okay. I think frozen foods get demonized a lot in our culture, and there's nothing wrong with frozen foods as long as you're kind of choosy about which ones you pick. Like this one, there's nothing on it. It's just broccoli, right? There's no cheese, there's no sauces. So just be careful with picking the very simple frozen foods. You could do frozen meats. A lot of times it's the only way that some people will eat vegetables because they don't want to go to the grocery store often. So frozen foods are okay. Even frozen meals are okay every once in a while. Try to aim for under 500 milligrams of sodium when you're looking at a frozen meal, and that will help you, keep the salt down with those. And another thing that is okay when you want to try and be a lazy chef is making things semi-homemade, okay? You don't always have to make hummus. You don't always have to make salsa. You don't always have to make sauces, right? You can choose things that make it easier. So I use hummus and salsa for seasoning a lot, actually. And it's a really simple way to kind of flavor my food without having to rely on cheese or butter or something like that. So use your semi-homemade things. There's a lot of good like boxed grains that you can get, and that will really help you to cook more of your own food. And always keep in mind that, when we're cooking a meal, we do want to follow My Plate. So let me just bring out that My Plate just to remind you, there is a My Plate video. Try and keep half of your plate fruits and vegetables, a quarter of it lean protein, and a quarter of it your whole grains. Okay, so keep it simple, follow My Plate, and that will help you kind of make simpler meals. The last thing I want to tell you is something that I personally do that makes it really easy to be what I call a lazy chef. I pick 2 to 3 go-tos for every single meal. So 2 to 3 things that I could eat for breakfast, 2 to 3 things that I could eat for lunch, 2 to 3 things I could eat for dinner, and that's pretty much what I eat because I want to keep it simple. And I almost always have those ingredients stocked in my fridge, in my pantry, and that really simplifies the process. And I'm still not bored of my food. You don't have to do a different meal, a new recipe every single night, okay? So when you're trying to be what I call a lazy chef, remember, keep things simple, use simple cooking methods. Meals don't have to be pretty, they don't have to make sense. You can eat dinner for breakfast if you want, as long as it's healthy. You can use frozen foods. There's a lot of ways to make cooking easier. And if you need more help with cooking, recipe selection. You can meet with registered dietitians. You can meet with me if you like. I am at Wellstar Health Place. Just click the link down below for more information.